here. We're back, folks, on a Thursday. What's going on? Hey, everybody, get your software. We're doing the Prime deal. So if you're going to get a trading view, get it now. This is our summer special, the Prime special. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. And then I told everybody on Tuesday, folks, you'll get 6 months of one of these platforms for free. And that's only good for another week. Bunch of people ask me, am I going to do a special? There it is. Okay, so you can get both. My suggestion is you get the MetaTrader. That's great. MetaTrader 5 is excellent for crypto. So check that out. What's going on, chat? Interesting day, 2 days. What's going on? Right? We got the Qs. Everything reacting off of the big levels. And who would have thought it, right? Who would have thunk it? Big 1618. That's what's going on. Remember 504? Now 478. Didn't take long. We were here a week ago. Okay, yeah, we were here a week ago. And that's what it was. We knew that there was going to be a change coming, change in character, change in direction, go into this retracement phase. So that's really what we want to consider going forward. We had a dot, it everything you want to see. So where's it going to go? How low can we go? Well, how are we going to play this? I think we're clearly, as we said last week, into a pause, especially Tuesday. We're like, okay, we've seen enough. It only takes 1 or 2 days. So now we're here. And the likely, I think, just get a little perspective. Okay. The likely send back is just simply we're at this 886. It's a monthly 886. That's it. It's, down. I'd say a nice 5% correction down a short couple of days. 477 on the Qs. So again, a lot going on here where that's a first stop. I mean, I look, if it was a full-on correction, like let's say off of that little swing low, maybe it's a 1618 down. And that's more like 455. And I think we're lucky to have this. I think we're absolutely lucky to have this. Here's the other takeaway, just so you know, HSI hitting oversold today and piercing it. So that might be a few more days. Okay, that might be a few more days. What's up, dog? G-Dog saying, let's go, 1080p. I've been trying to use that Stream Elements. It's not working. And I had some problems with the sound last week. So let me know, is this better today, guys? Is that a better view for everybody? Please let me know. Anyway, so this will go on for, let's say 30 days. Let's say this is the window, and then let's go 30 days. I mean, if we went 30 sessions, that's like 6 weeks. But we're talking about this thing probably persisting in a pullback phase, something like that. I can't even get it on there. 30 sessions, 30 bars, 30 trading days is probably a great way to think about that. And that puts you out to the 20th of August. Nice. What's going on? David, Alex, Mezzo, Victoria, Rogelio, Parveen, Mr. Ken, Tails, Justin. What's up, Justin? Yeah, market does need to breathe. Look, it's got overheated. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, kids, if you're under 18, because you are a kid. If you're under 18, you're still a kid. We need to think about how far this has come. Okay, consider this. We knew last November, right? I was pounding the table last November, like pounding the table on that dot right down there last October. Do you realize that the low on that at 343 with a move up to 505, 504? Anyone do the math? Anyone want to do the math? That's like 40 to 45% gain inside of 8, 9 months. Like imagine your wife gets pregnant and then 9 months later, portfolio is up 50% because you bought the low. And now it's time to give birth and get rid of it. Seriously, it's time to be done with this 9 month pregnancy phase of a beautiful move. Now let's go back down. I'm thinking like what makes a lot of sense here is like a 236 minimum. And again, that points us more like 450, 455, guys. That's and we're down huge in the last 3 sessions. So a full reaction happening at the moment, but still more to go. What would be nice, actually, think of it this way, okay? We had this shark, and we've been dealing with this shark all along, but what if we have a failed shark, which I still think it is. I'm still, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm super bullish longer term. Just like last year when we had this correction off the 886 down to the dot, we were looking at 382 or target 1 or dot, something to end the reaction. That's the same deal here. And even if we project that distance in a reciprocal fashion, I said that last time, again, all of this points more like 455. Yeah. That's pretty funny, Matthew. Yeah, I think anybody that's from around last century understands we're dealing with different days than that. We're in a different century. I agree with that. Anyone younger than 18 years old is not allowed to legally trade. That's not exactly true. People can trade. You just need to trade as a, kind of like a parental permission. But let's get back to really what needs to be considered going forward of this deal, that we're now looking for HSI. We want to get this thing down because then whatever this reaction retracement is, this then should set up the bigger breakaway move into next year. We've been talking about that, which has been amazing. That 1618 all for the last year at least, especially since we've had this 886 retracement, and then we took it out, and once we took out that 886, which was October, it was on for the 1618. So now another reaction. Reactive pause. I'm really glad to see this retracement here. I think it's going to be a big opportunity once we finish. But for now, yeah, clear reaction. 1618 is in, and now let's just write it down because check it out. We had what we had up here on extended hours. There you go. We had this look crab pattern, really tough because it is almost a perfect type 2, but we didn't hit target 1 perfectly there. This is one of those situations where look, what happened here? Sorry, hold on. Okay, look, target 1 fell shy. It was fell shy by 10 cents. Is it a valid type 2? Technically, no, it's still a type 1, but I come back to the fact that, look, go dot to dot. Where is the last HSI dot? That will help you with direction. Well, last week it was down. Now, literally this morning, okay, we just started to trigger it. And we actually have 2 signals going on here. I think we're in the ballpark of a bounce. I mean, we're really close. I think this could bounce and we could find ourselves at least trying to make a run to end this current dump. Again, go back to the 4-hour chart. There's HSI coming out. You need to see some green candles. Green 4 hours. And then we get that thing to bounce back up. I certainly think we'll be back to 500 later this fall or by the end of the year. So I'm not, again, this is an opportunity. Without a doubt, with respect to the next year, what we're going into right now is a massive opportunity, much like last summer was, in October finally being the end of the retracement. It took a couple months. So let's see what happens here. I think this is possible. That is possible. SPY, remember, 560, 565, same deal, hitting it hard, right off that area. Now trading 550. Where can we go? How low can we go? Because here, we just got a dot yesterday. That's pretty big. And unlike Qs, we still have a ways to go to get oversold. So I think we're in the early stages here. We're not, it's not like this is a one and done situation. And look at the crab pattern. 556, 556.90 is the daily structure. How you going to play it? Well, we're going to ride this down. I think 543 back test the top end of that zone or the next HSI. But that is the type 1. Okay, and type 1 as low as 524. What would that be? A 10% correction. So I think this is, you got a couple things going on. You have a big long-term 1618, like a monthly. You know, your monthly 1618 is like this. And I've really been trying to emphasize that we're going to go into a change of character. Yeah, it'll be a pause, but more like, okay, stop being so crazy here. Let's do some grind. Let's come off a little bit, and then let's set up like a 236. That could be 512 on the weekly. Really doesn't matter. It's wherever the next HSI and dot come in, we get another one like that. I go on the weekly. It's probably a better way to look at it. And so this is still early, quite early on the weekly. Next week follow through with the monthly close. It's another thing that was kind of looming last week. I said, boy, whatever this monthly close is, it's going to be important. And so just think of it this way. If that's the big 1618, and it is, all right, then this should be a red candle on the monthly. And to make it a monthly red candle, well, you got to drop under 545. The open was 545.63. So my thought is this, is that we're going to get a red candle. Like literally, you're going to drop another 10 points between now and the end of the month and close under that level. So maybe down 10 or 15 more, another 2-3%. And then that sets up for next month. Something's happening. And I said this a week ago where these major harmonics are uncanny. Guys, this is the thing that blew me away 25 years ago. Like once looking at this 1618 dynamic, 886, exact reversals, this stuff, once you put the levels together, then you see what's going on. And believe me, that 504 number was 504.16. And the high, oh wait, no, Qs. SPY was 565. And the high was 565.16. So there are things there that we need to pay attention to, that this is a serious point here for a pause. And maybe it's like 2-3 months. Remember October last year seemed like a big deal, but it was tiny. That's all it was. 3 months sideways, lower grind, let a lot of air out of the tires, and then set it up. And it's probably the same kind of a thing. It's just that this year with that election coming up, well, it's going to be probably a little wilder. But I do think, we're going to see something into this on this retracement. That's a big setup. Now, last comment about third quarter pre-presidential elections. They're usually ugly. Not always, but they're usually, it's a time frame of uncertainty. So you put that into the fact that we're reacting off of a 1618, QQQ, SPY, major markets, even the Dow, and I'll get to that in a second because the Dow hit at 1618 with that big thrust up. They're all hitting at the same time. It's no coincidence. But now we just want to see how this follows through. Like today, this individual day where they tried to rally it back up this morning, they had it up 100, 150. Then they dumped it on its head over 300 points. We were down 200 at the low, and we're down 125 on NASDAQ futures at the moment. That kind of action, I mean, it does, like I said, it takes 2, maybe 3 days of that kind of stuff to turn the weekly tide. And then 2 weeks of that turns the monthly tide. And then before you know it, you're in a 10% correction, which I wouldn't be surprised if this produces a 10% correction. Where would that take you? A 10% correction right off the top. It's 2,000 points. We're already halfway there. That's the amazing thing. We're already halfway there to the 10% correction, and I think that's what people want to see. Yeah. So all good though. I mean, this is not a surprise for any of us. Couple other things, big things. So let's take a look at the stocks, because that seemingly was going to go up forever. But now what? There's our monthly chart. Okay, SOX was a 1618, 1902. I'm not really concerned about the overspill, but here you go. Sorry, 1 second. That's better. So these were the sketches from last time, and our 1618 on SOX is right about 5,300, but we had an overspill move 1902, which was perfect. That was 5,900. And as I said last week, go back to Tuesday or last Thursday session, even better, because all of this stuff we laid out as it was happening, and now you're accelerating. Now it's almost like foregone conclusion. But look, 236. I don't use that too much, but as like an approximate reactive retracement ratio, it works well. That's around 5,000. So that's another 15% lower on SOX. Red, say what's up, Red? Red Nose is a Red Nosar, AR. Bulls made it to the top before summer break. Wait and see until September activity reset. Yeah, look. The character's changed. That's what the 1618 means. When you get up there, you anticipate a reaction. That's what happens in life. Those are the natural market mechanics. So with that being said, guys, we're not surprised about this. Let it come on in. We're going to have to go back to, after, most of the year favoring the longs. Now we're going to have to start looking for some shorts. I think this is week one. Week one, and on a monthly basis, you're putting in a red candle at the 1618, 1902 overshoot zone. Weeklies like this, okay, we're going to get a 3-bar breakdown, and on the SOX, that's under 5370. You flirted there this morning. Close it this week under 5370. That's a big candle. Then we're looking at this entire range. You're going to retrace what the beautiful run up off the April low. I would say it's going to be something like this. Connect the dot, little throw down 1618, like all the way to a 50 or a 618. All of that's pointing to like the 5,000 level on the SOX. Be ready for it. Again, I think next week should set it off. We get that continuation lower. Yeah, traders are at the beaches, my man. Absolutely. I'm about to go. Probably in like 2 weeks. I think I might probably peel a week off and just take a week off. Got to pace yourself. That is just to share this on the side with everybody. You know, Wednesday's my light day, and I purposely structure it like that. Otherwise, if I get tired, and I mean by Thursday or Friday, I make mistakes. Like Fridays, if I make mistakes on a Friday, it's usually because I'm tired and I didn't pace myself. Too much screen time. So consider that. And even with the summer or during the year, you got to strategize of like when to take the time. Like if the market is off, there's a day off, you got to strategize to take 3-4 days and just peel away so that you come back fresh. Really critical stuff. Those little things, they go a long way. I mean, even just like getting out, you guys go to the gym, get in the pool, whatever. All of that is really important to overall psyche levels. But I'll tell you what's most important: harmonic framework. Because knowing where we are on the map is a big deal for understanding where the opportunities are. Check out the dot check back 3 days ago. Dot on the daily, and then we come back and retest that right around 5,800 and straight down. So big move, and I think again we're seeing ideal price action at the critical level, without a doubt. What's up, Justin? Justin says YouTube views on major 5 streams were 1/3 of last week. Yeah, everybody's on vacation. Europe, they don't go. I mean, they don't work. They're just like, hey, we're gone. If you're in South America, if you're in Brazil, I think like there's 1 week a month they take off, almost. And that's a nice way to go. Only here in America do we have to squeeze in our vacation time and feel guilty about it, quite frankly. But no, Brazil's great because they just love to. They take their time off. They start their dinners at 9 o'clock at night. The parties don't begin till 11 or midnight, and then go till 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, love it. But now where we are, yeah, everyone's like they grab vacation out of desperation, me included. So I'm going to go grab a desperate vacation in about 2 weeks. Anyway, before then, we're going to follow this path forward of assuming retracement, let it come to us, and then get ready for what I think is going to be a continuation of the decade-long move. Ever since the 22 low, this stuff it's just looking for the next inflection pivot point. So I want to stress that too, that I'm looking for reaction here, and I'm happy about that because it's just another step in the process. But folks, this situation, where is it? Where is the regression channel? Come on. Where'd it go? Oh, it's on this one. This is the path forward off the 2022 low. Okay. Top end, I've showed this regression channel. This is your train tracks for the rest of the decade. Listen, we're going to ride the train tracks like this. So if you understand that that's our limit, you know, within, I guess that's like a 2 standard deviation, maybe that's a 3 standard deviation of the mean, but that's the path forward for SOX. And I sketched this out last time. We're at the top end. You got to let it react. Let the air out of the tire. And I would think even back to the median line, that's like 5170, 5160. If we got all the way back down to the lower range of the trend channel, screaming buy. and that's like 5,000. So I think 5,000 is the number on the stocks. SMH, that's the ETF. This is another one that we're going to want to hit up. Okay, there's big weekly, obviously putting in a 3-bar this week. A close for SMH under 255 seals the deal on a 3-bar weekly reversal. Come on back, come on down. Hit the lower range of the trend channel, and then I will be the first one to say, guys, next year's run is setting up. Next year's run, and I mentioned this before, where look, SMH is the place to be in tech, and we're going to want to ride it with a 3 to 5 year time horizon on it, but within the ranges. We got to respect those daily, weekly levels. When they overstretch, that's it. Not to mention, we had a big bat. This is like all of the other patterns that we had on the weeklies on 2022. I mean, that was $90, okay? This projected off of the pattern, hey, that gives us a great kind of first start. There's the 1618, 1902. That was in April. And it's a similar reaction. Down and then back up. And this one almost got, did we get 2618? Not quite. Not quite. 2618 would it'd be like right there, like 285. Something like that. I'm thinking this just stair steps. We will get that 2618. We get this reaction. Then we keep going. I mean, all of your major markets, guys, especially for ones like Nvidia, SMHQs, my long-term 314, 3618 projections, that's the play from now until the end of the decade. Like, you got to know that this market, if we weren't going to crash 5 years ago, 2020 was the time where that was the shakeout move. And if that was not going to crash it, then the underlying strength with this market is sick. And then we got that 2022, which is a decennial pattern of being a low in the market. That takes you, I think, at least up until 2028. We got 3-4 years to play with here, but we don't want to miss the next continuation. So for SMH, I think that's like 220. It's another 10 or 15% lower for the ideal continuation move. With all of that being said, that puts us somewhere, like I said, November, October. We'll look for that low. But for now, you're in that reaction phase. You just got to deal with it. A couple more. What's up, Neil? The MSFL long. Yeah, those were, well, first let's look at Microsoft. There's the train tracks for Microsoft. Okay, firmly entrenched, but let's come back to the lower end of the line. That's like 420, 425 for Microsoft. Also, any HSI coming in? Not yet. Not yet. That's weekly. Dailies like this, guys. Let's just go off this next HSI. That's how we're going to know. That might not be till Monday or Tuesday that turns around. If you're looking for an opportunity to play Microsoft, please wait for HSI to do its thing down there and then come out of the zone. I like it because we were thrown down hard enough to generate oversold triggers across the board on daily on just about all of them. Okay, that needs like a couple of days of inflection, which again puts us to next week at a minimum before we even think it's going to turn around. Like stabilize. It has to stabilize. It has to put in a couple of days before we can really get going. I think intraday, yeah, you're going to have some great opportunities. Was it on here? Hold on. Was it Microsoft? Maybe it was Meta. big pattern. I think it was hourly Meta. Hold on. Maybe a 4 hour. We're already back at, look, there's the 886 swing and we're generating, there it is. Meta is a big shark right off the top. We were 535 not 10 days ago. Yeah, 10 days ago we were 535. Okay, we were 460 this morning. Phew, with HSI. But this is, again, the type of oversold throwdown move we want to take advantage of within a strong uptrend, without a doubt. Here's the daily. Oh, this is the deal on this is what I wanted to say about Meta. So Meta was a bat right at the top at 518, but it's a type 1. And what we should be looking for now, okay, we're not out of the zone, but daily oversold is happening here. But you're still a day or two before that gives you an inflection. Great pattern. I'd expect that thing to come down, maybe back down as low as 455, somewhere in here, stabilize over the next few days, where maybe come after the bottom, we start to make the move back up. Where's weekly on this? Did we get up there? Weekly has HSI down around 454. So 455, there's a number. And yeah, you're looking for this to just continue. I mean, that was amazing. That crab pattern at 116, that was insanity. But that's what you're dealing with. Did we get to a 1618 off of there? That was our target. No, it was 1618 is like there. 565. Pretty close. And I still say we eventually get up there and more so. Nothing's going to stop these. Look, pause, give us some oversold triggers on a weekly, and then go. What's up, Matthew? He's asking, do you not think the Fed rate cuts will usher in a major market correction or crash? I'm more focused on this 1618 phenomenon. There's a lot of ways we could interpret that a number of different ways. Everyone's looking for those rate cuts, but yes, they cut rates because things get bad. And it does come at a different stage. I just think where we are right now sets up perfectly for a nasty reaction. Beyond that, I wouldn't be too concerned, but I do think when you hit 1618s like this, and you already are exhibiting this type of reactionary behavior, there's strong selling going on. Okay, that should let this retracement, that should continue. If it was going to be a one and done, we'd be 300. We'd be plus 300 today, but we're not. So with all of that, just understand that it seems like a lot. It's not really, and it's not much different than what we faced last summer, which was mostly a blip on the screen. Let's get another blip. Yeah, what's up, Gringo? Gringo Nachapa. Well, if you're in Sao Paulo or Porto Alegre, I can meet you there in Brazil next time I'm down there. Let me know. What's up, Vats? Everyone else, welcome. How you guys doing? We're here Tuesdays, Thursdays. Okay. Also, get over Harmonic Trader, guys. Please, I'm getting questions on this. All of the resources are as a basic member right here on the website, and that's free. Some people were asking me recently, where do I get the books? Just go to the basic members page. All you need to do is submit your email address. If you have a problem, for some reason, some people were having issues signing up, just email me, harmonictrader@gmail. But here's the books. It's number 2. Okay, all the resources. Check out the videos. Even the great thing like the cheat sheets, okay? Harmonic pattern cheat sheet, stuff like that. Check all of that out and print that out, put it on your wall. especially the new folks. You just need exposure to patterns, illustrations, and then real examples. Follow those. I suggest to people, you take the 2-week trial here and then study, 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 absorb. Don't try to trade in that first week. Just get some experience under your belt, and then, understanding this type of behavior, understanding why we have strong reactions, reversals, okay, why that's so important. Let's take a quick peek at Nvidia, guys, and then I'll go to Bitcoin. Nvidia is sitting up here checking back a daily dot. I think it's a lot like the last daily dot. We might screw around here for a while. You're at 120, maybe even flirt with 110. But this is an interesting setup. 4-hour chart. Trying to put in a yellow dot right here. And I thought there was where's the bat pattern? I had a big bat pattern off of this. There you go. It's on the hourly. Around 117. 117.54. Nice for a trade. But the bigger takeaway with Nvidia is here's another dot. And look at the last couple of daily dots right there at 45, and then down here at 40, and then again up here at 82, and now we'll do it again at 120. And this is still, look, Nvidia is just, we're on the top end of that. Even that's a liberal channel. Okay, but this rides. Nvidia just continues. I would love to see Nvidia come to that 50 level at around $100 and then just continue and rip off of there. So I'm not there quite yet on things like Microsoft and Nvidia, but if these set up the way I think they're going to set up, you're going to get one more shot. And that's going to come in really, I think, like September, October. Let's get over to Bitcoin, guys. What are we doing? Bitcoin taking a little chip today. Not much, nothing big. And I still, as I said, been saying for a few weeks, even longer. We just need to see green weekly candles. So what's this? Well, there's one green, second green. We very well will get a dot. But I'm going to clarify it. It's not till Sunday night, and we have to close above 60,770. I would say 60,800. Call it 61,000. It has to be a decent bullish close here. And then I would still say that the possibility for a retest of that bar next week back down at 60, 61 to be exact, it's 60,793. Would be the trigger. You're looking for this consolidation zone on Bitcoin to be it. That's it. I mean, I highlighted a couple of things what I thought this was, thinking that this might just be an ABCD off the top. It could very well just be this. A high level 886, 113, ABCD, real tight consolidation, but that means these lows hold. And I mean, you hold 53 where you don't break 53. You go to 103 before you go under 53. What do you think of that? That's the read. Mitch, what's up? Mitch, you want to jump in here? Sorry, man. I set it up that we could. Let me know. Send me a text in the Discord. Mitch Ray's in here. I didn't want to bother you, dude. I know we were going to connect, but then I figured you probably were doing stuff. Let me see if you're there. Hey, there you are. Let me know. I'm sending you a text. Maybe I'll ring you in a couple minutes if you're ready. Get Mitch in here, share his thoughts. And I'd love to get on Mitch's show. Every night he's on, I'm putting my son to bed, but we'll have to do that. Yeah, you got it. 5 minutes, we'll bring Mitch in. 5 minutes, we'll get Mitch in, all right? Awesome. You guys, give me some shills. What do you guys want to look at? Mitch is saying 64,899 is the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Could be the bridge of Kabul. Something like that. Yeah. All right. I'm okay with this, guys, and I'm look, I'm not worried about any of this. In fact, anything that comes down is just more of an opportunity for what's to come. You have to project it out like that. And I would think, what we're trying to see develop here is much like the stuff we talked about in the big tech in 2022 and 2023. You're in the middle of that process. Okay? Just definitely in the middle of that process to resolve all of this. Where is total? Quick peek at total crypto. Here's total, 2.28. We have a dot, and we went green last week. So same deal on total, like 2 trillion's got a hold. I think the more interesting total charts are total 3. Why? Because you have a dot there. You also have some patterns. I got to say this, though. The fact that we missed that retest, like if we would have hit 474 billion for that type 2 and then had a dot, and that's on the total 3 index, I would say, yeah, this launch pad is starting now. It was so close. I would still think on this total 3 index, we have a little more work to do, but it is a type 2. That's a type 2 weekly. That's a big deal. Total DeFi, same thing. Almost flushed it out, but we have yellow dots here. Probably need to go monthly. Yeah, there's the monthly. And then daily, the total DeFi. This is down here on this last total DeFi move. There's the bat. Could we possibly get, a type 2 down, back down? Got to watch it. Take a look at the bunching action here at target 1. It's another example of harmonic in real time. You'll hit your level, T1 dollar sign goes on. What do you do the next bar? It's a red candle, can't get through. After that, another red candle, can't get through. After that, so far, doji. Those are 3 days, 3 sessions of can't get above target 1. That means this pattern is in full effect. Keep an eye on that one. What do you guys want to look at dominance? What's up, Ferrari? BTC dominance looks like this. But I don't know if that really matters, guys, because it's just all about Bitcoin anyway. And I've been saying that Bitcoin needs to drive everything on this cycle. I think it's going to be a less speculative cycle. I've been saying this is all about an allocation cycle. It's not really a speculation cycle. What does that mean? It means people are putting money in to Bitcoin and crypto where their time horizon is not 6 months. It's 6 years or longer. But there's there's Bitcoin market cap dominance right around 54%. Go back up here to 57, probably. And look at it. That's a strong chart. Weeklies like this. So I'll watch that. It's not as important as some of these other charts. Like you go to Ethereum. Okay. Holding up, mildly bullish, but it's all about the dot, and it's all about maintaining the dot on this trend line. So if this is a dot, guys, I think it is. And then you have this kind of a situation. We're connecting the dots where that should go to a crab at a minimum. Then that's a C point. And we've been saying, get me a C point. if it's that tight kind of weekly stuff, or maybe more like this, you know, that there's the BXA, there's B, and then 382 is like there, and then you go. So potentially this 3,000 area is the C point already. Like it could already have completed. So I'm watching. I'm watching. It's so close here. If I think the picture is probably clearer on Ethereum than it is even Bitcoin. But there you go. I'll watch this, and then we got to get through this month. A couple of the ones that I like, T coins like Ethereum Classic. I'll keep highlighting these. Why? Because there's a yellow dot. That's weekly oversold. And then daily, you got patterns here. Might come back for the retest, but I think the next retest is probably it. So you're 23 bucks. I'm looking under 20. And then that should go. And there's sharks, and there's weekly patterns, there's daily type 2s here. It's a lot to go on. The other one, remember Binance Coin? Shark to 5.0, that's been the plan all along. Weekly shark to 5.0, or whatever happens, you know, DOT or HSI. So we're doing HSI this week, and it looks like that. So that's another one. I like that. Binance Coin, it's a high level counter HSI. That should push you back into the zone, back to 645. That's a very good sign. That means that this reaction that ended about 10 days ago, that's it. Yeah, we'll go XRP, right? XRP finally doing stuff. Is this the time? Because that was up at 60 cents just yesterday. XRP daily, we know there's patterns. It's at type 2. It's a target 2 at 60. That should be it for now. I mean, this is so crypto. You know, do a 50% move and then come probably all the way back down, or at least come back to 50 cents, because that's where the long-term zone is. There's the weekly HSI. So a lot going on here, guys. A lot. It's early. I'm not rushing into it. I cleared out XRP about 2 weeks ago, around 47 cents. No, that was the end of June. So another first thrust kind of a thing. You still have plenty of time on XRP. I need to see more action here. Also, I need to see Bitcoin exert itself. It's all pump and dump, Carthago. You're right. A couple others. What's up, Bsonic? Wants to look at SUP. What's up? What's up? You mean SUI or SUP? I don't know. Or super? I don't know what SUP. SUP is in like, what's up? SUP. Let's see what SUP is. Don't know what that is. Sakura United Platform. Are you kidding? Come on. No, I can't do that one. Can't do that. And all right, here's an example of what not to recommend, guys. Terrible chart. There's nothing I can do with that. Look, this is a grind, dump the bags situation. Okay, let me get Mitch's here. All right. Mitch is ready. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Let me bring Mitch in. Hold on. Let me call. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we'll have to wait. Mitch, text me when you're ready. When you're back in. You maybe stepped out. Tia, guys. Tia's like that. Celestia. $6. Where's Binance Feed? There's Bitfinex, has a bat pattern. Yeah, this is another one where nice run up, 2 to 20, back down, full reset. But that's not really in the position. Hold on, let me call Mitch back. Okay, he's got to restart PC. Celestia, I hear it, but I still want, look, I want weekly. You do have some weekly oversold there, but I retest the dot. Celestia, it's like the open trigger is like $5. You're at 6. Even this week is just day one, week one. Yeah. And we need Bitcoin. You need Bitcoin to be moving. I don't think these T coins are going to move until we can get Bitcoin back to all-time new highs. We have a pattern here. It is a shark. It's all-time, but there's probably better stuff. Better stuff such as, well, you gotta admire Solana, right? Where are you? Solana 157. Coming off the target 2 with the bat. Okay. I'm going to say above really this 178, 176. That should get it going. Man, this has been impressive. Here's your weekly. And the weekly was amazing. We did have a dot. On Sunday, that was a dot. So what this should end up being is, here's a real high-level continuation. Go to 238. If not, higher. If not, be the launch pad that gets you the next leg. You know, think of it this way. If Solana was going to do an equivalent move off the low, you know, from there, 10 to 200. God, really? Yeah, really. 10 to 200, back down to 120, and then another leg off that dot. That's like 3.25. That's impressive. Need that to turn up. What I want to see with this is a 3-bar reversal. I want to see that clear above 155 and close above 155. Then you're good. Couple more. Yeah, BTC's got to start running. No, the devs cannot do anything to get this thing moving. Not until we can really separate it. What's up? Drew Abbott saying YFI's got a beautiful type 2 butterfly. Okay. YFI. Is that on a daily? Nice weekly dot. Almost. That's not really type 2 material. That's more stretch out. Year in finance is it's kind of a dud. Dare I say that might even be dead crypto. Could it pop? Yeah, maybe someday it pops. But that's not the kind of price action that we'd want to see. And also, where is it post-halving? I mean, it made progress, but by post-halving, you're right back to lows. I mean, look at this chart. That's remarkable. That was 80,000, 90,000 at top. This is 5,000, but that's not trending crypto. That's not in the right position. You do have weekly oversold, which is our recipe. Do we have a daily type 2? As I said, that's not a type 2. We have a T1 designation, but it didn't go to T target 1. And so we're back here. I just think it's, you know, it's definitely just flailing. And we can look at that and say, all right, you go 30 bars from the completion, or even from, there's 30 bars and it did nothing. or go 30 bars from the other confirmation. Like even if I want to take another shot there, 30 bars later, what are you doing? You haven't really moved. That's like a scratch. All right, I think Mitch is ready. Let's bring Mitch in. Call him, chat him up. Okay, here we go. All right. Knock, knock. Mitch, man.
Hey,
How are you? Can you hear me?
one sec. Sorry, I got yeah, I've been listening to you on my my phone. Yeah,
Okay,
as I restarted my PC.
awesome. Right, how we
Okay,
doing?
yeah, I can hear you. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. Miss you. Hope we got to connect soon, and hope you're well. I've been busy, with the fam. Getting Lucas ready for school and everything, and getting about to go on vacation. But we got to get
Where's
into.
vacation?
Well, I'll go back to the hometown crew. Go back to Philly for a while. Philly, DC, maybe a little colonial tour up in the hometown
Yeah,
area.
dodge
Uh,
some bullets.
well, we'll go in and out after, during day hours only, during the daytime. Believe me, I have thought about it because of, all the nonsense going on. I really adore DC. I mean, the physical location, the monuments and the statues and stuff. I love that history. But it
That's
definitely.
everywhere. New York, everywhere. Yeah, these buildings were built by men that are not alive anymore, but people have replaced those builders, and that's what we have now. So,
Yeah, and I'm from Philly, so we've got that history, and we'll be careful. We'll tread carefully up there, but it's a good time too. It's probably a good time too as well because of where the markets are in this retracement phase, and where's the launch pad on Bitcoin? Where do you think the launch pad on Bitcoin is?
I mean, we may have already gotten it. Like, that the most recent discernible event on Bitcoin's chart is a false bearish breakdown below a very key inflection point from 2021. And it only took a generational news driven catalyst to create that false bearish breakdown. Like buyers recaptured 58.4, and we saw a run straight up to 65.9 or 64.9, excuse me, about 65. And that was where we pulled back yesterday. This is also another major inflection point, April of 2021's uh, former all-time high. And we spent about 4, 8, 12, 16 hours this morning, uh, after failing to, I mean, we broke it yesterday, but then we saw, call that an upthrust because they couldn't sustain the price action above that level. And so it fell back below 64,899. And again, 16 hours of failing to break it. And so that's kind of like a bearish back test, reconfirming the validity of that April 21st or the April 2021 high as resistance again. And now we're sitting at the bottom of that inflection zone at 63,588 and just sitting there. And it is just kind of disappointing where, hey, big tech's been on this life changing run. Yeah, it's correcting now. Bitcoin has been doing nothing for 4 months. And then, oh, look, all the big tech and everything starts correcting and pulling back after the big run. And Bitcoin can't really do much. It's also selling off today with everything. So, Launchpad could have already happened. We don't know. Like we do probably want to see a higher low because we did that false bearish breakdown was also the lowest low of the correction. So it's always nice to see a higher low get put in after the lowest low because that gives you confidence to believe there's now more than before, more market participants involved with the asset. We're just kind of at that point where we haven't seen that yet, and we may not. So I think below 63,588, you have a support of 60,800. Swing low from March 19th. And if we break 64,899, there's not much in the way until 71,000. So you got
Yeah.
targets, you got levels.
Yeah, I'm just put up a 4-hour chart, and we've put in our third pattern since March, holding this whole range, this 58 to 70 range general. It's a 2 of 2 on the 4-hour for the a couple of these, but I think maybe we come back one more time. Maybe that's
I think a lot of
60
people do. No.
60,000. And again, the weekly is an interesting spot because of it's one. I think if it was really going to drop, we would already be down here because we're since we made the top back in March. Remarkably, what is it? It's almost like 20 weeks up in the zone, and I always like 30. No matter what it is, what time frame, it's more about the.
126 days, give or take.
Yeah, we're week 18 in that zone, a consolidation zone, and 30 weeks would put us somewhere to just as an approximation, like right to early October. That if we held, great, and then I would expect within that 30 window for it to resume from this consolidation range. So again, I think it's a time deal. I don't think the price matters because once this thing does bottom, if it's 53 or 42 or 50 or 61, we all know that the projected move is to all-time new highs, uh, with everything behind it. Go to the monthly 1618, and I don't. Again, that's all of that is just. I think it's fairly conservative stuff.
Yeah. I mean, long-term uptrend, you know, the complete and utter debasement of fiat purchasing power. You've got a candidate who just survived an assassination attempt that has like publicly announced what he's going to be doing about Bitcoin. He's like literally the first presidential candidate that's got an actual chance of winning that's pro Bitcoin, accepting donations in Bitcoin and crypto. He just announced that his vice presidential candidate is going to be a man who is pro Bitcoin, who owns $250,000 minimum of Bitcoin himself. And you got Jamie Dimon that is potentially flipping, his stance on Bitcoin. I don't know if that's going to be politically motivated because Trump was talking about maybe making him I don't know, putting him on the cabinet if he won. And so these are all like, I don't know, good variables for long-term upside. But in the short term, yeah, dude, it's like, okay, no one's going to care in like a year or two if Bitcoin goes to 52K at a 38% retrace from the 15.5 low to the highest high we've ever seen. Like 382 is the golden zone. The 38% retrace, 51.5 is a swing high from September of 2021, December 2021. I mean, it's a very real level, and we see that it's not going to matter in the long term, and it's a very real possibility. I do have a little bit of hopium about the false bearish breakdown, and that's just like Bitcoin has like is notorious for that. You go back to the last time Bitcoin went on a face melting rally. What was before it? What like led up to the face melting rally? You go to January 23rd. You go to January 22nd. That was a confirmed bearish breakdown with a candle close, where there was no support till 31K really, and then sellers couldn't do anything, and then just as soon as January 26th, buyers, or let's just say the 27th, buyers recaptured that key level, and it was a rally after the recapturing that took Bitcoin up 75.6% in 46 days. So false bearish breakdowns are what you pray for on Bitcoin because they happen frequently. Like they happen all the time throughout history. Like where it's normally like, sometimes you'll be really fortunate and you'll see like classic accumulation structures. It's perfect, inverse head and shoulders. But Bitcoin, there's something about it. I think it might have to do with leverage traders, futures, arbitrage. It's global. There's just so many variables. And like, that's how these bearish breakdowns occur, liquidity grabs before, they recapture, and then they go on the rallies that the 2 months or 6 weeks, and it's up like 70%. So and I think maybe that happened on the 13th of July. Very well could have.
Yeah, definitely they probed a lot. I mean, I have kind of an advanced setup. I'll review with you in a second here, but we have seen daily patterns bearish give you these reactions, and this is again just auto patterns, but that January top had a bearish pattern. It did the 1-2, but that was all. It just did the dance down to target 2, and then we resumed. We had another pattern. We all talked about this back in May, just looking, and it's just another reaction to target 2. And this has been something I've noticed with Bitcoin where you get bearish patterns. If you're in an uptrend, yeah, okay. Bearish patterns can be your friend after the reaction, like this one, even right off the low. I remember, really going through this and just saying, okay, we had this shark pattern. This is last year, the first thrust to 32. It was a shark, threw it down. They gave us another bat. It was a beautiful one too. Okay, and then take it back up each time. You have that bearish shark pattern reaction, bearish reaction, and then you resume. And the way that I look at that is, go put it in here. Like, okay, what's the total amount of bars? 130 there. But that did a one, like did a down one, back two, where there's the retest, and then on the retest, that it's a failure really soon after. So I'm kind of looking at this as let it do whatever it wants to do down here, because eventually we're going to get back up to this. If it's not in 2 months, it's certainly by the end of the year, and then next year we'll do the continuation. I want to see what happens here over one more week. Let's get a monthly close, because I agree this can be a launch pad here to at least get us back to the pattern, which is like 71K. But here's something, it's a strategy that I really employed last cycle that worked well, that I've been focusing on as a specific setup. For Bitcoin, we have a weekly. So here's RSI. It's amplified RSI. On standard RSI, this got to the 50, but both of them, they have these complex, these M formations up here. I've mentioned that many times. Why those are so important? Because this M formation is just usually leads to a reaction, which is what we got. It's like this. You get your M, you come to the 50, and then we're looking for the return move. And we dipped down, got some oversold harmonic indicator stuff. But now, look, we're really close. I'm thinking one more week higher, another green candle. I wanted to see a green candle last week and this week as the way to kind of solidify the deal. If we can push higher, I mean, literally next week or the next 2 weeks where the indicator gets back above the 50, that's going to be a powerful continuation, early continuation signal. I mean, it's still early, but let me bring up standard RSI. RSI has been something I've combined with the harmonic patterns from the beginning, and then just noticing like the M and W structures to it, that they have meaning, significance. You can't really. Yeah, here is. Let me blow this up. It's like this. Um, Big RSI. So this is standard RSI. It looks like this. There's the M. You have an M formation. It got to the 50 level, and that's really important because that's a first stop, a first kind of a pullback where you get to the 50. Since the complex formation is just a temporary reaction, and it's a part of what I call the RSI BAM, meaning it's setting up an RSI, potential RSI divergence. But what goes here has to be a strong recovery move. And this is, I'll pull it up later. It's straight out of volume 2 and volume 3. Actually, I did an illustration there. That's the proposition. That's what everyone should be looking for next week, where we need RSI to float up here into, you call it the control zone, where RSI gets it back above, what do you use, 60 or
60, yeah.
yeah. So looking for that breakout like that on the weekly, and then RSI gets back into your control zone. That too should be the catalyst where this is done, and then we push up into the overbought again, and that's how we get this follow through. Now, if this takes 1, 2, 3 more weeks, so be it. But that's, I think, the larger path forward. And I've got some other, HSI came back in on the weekly. We're oversold. We're oversold on a lot of things, and even, dare I say, this, there was the first HSI signal down here on weekly was one of the lowest in in since last year. Every time we get down to this teal line, here you go. There, the zero line, that's the teal line, blue line. That's beyond, that's like depressed oversold. But the way that this works, and the what you should be looking for is for, again, another week higher once we get above the 50 line. It's a lot like RSI, HSIs borrows a lot from HSI, so sometimes those situations come together. Think of this almost as like a smooth harmonic RSI. But that would be the big breakout to get some force behind what's happening here. And at last time, hold on, last time we saw a push above the 50 like that after a retest was last fall. So it's in a relative position. It's a big deal, but I think
Yeah.
it's building and building, and it's actually a good thing. We hold this high zone.
That looks amazing on the weekly. I mean, that was if that was price, that's where you go long. Bottom of a range with a confirmation low, and it's slightly higher than the first low at the bottom of the range. Yeah, that looks really good on the weekly. But again, the daily moves. I mean, this Bitcoin could be at 60K today and rally in a few days, whatever, and it's still probably going to look okay on the weekly.
Yeah, and the other thing I've gone through where these weekly HSI dots, and I didn't have them last cycle, but they've been um, they've been super reliable. I mean, they've been the only one that I've seen fail was the dot from January 2022. I think it was, I forget what, if it was like 8 out of 9 weekly bullish dots worked out in the last several cycles. I'll yeah, I'm not going to go back and do it, but just it's just kind of going through empirical research where we're at a high level, even if we are comparatively like July 21, we still have this move to go back. I think to retest the highs. It's either from 54 or even 50. I don't care. But I do think that we're building to trigger that. It's get us to Sunday, and then it would really begin next week. We need a bullish close. We need a Sunday has to be firmly above, I would say, 63, maybe even really anything above 61 would be okay, but really above 62 or 63 to have this be the start, and then get going, get following through here. That might be another week. Add, maybe it's like 2 weeks here, but the way it's coming together is really similar to what we saw back here last fall. But I think not as long. You had the summer fizzle out last year, but then we got the dot, and you and we were going on that last year. Y25. I remember people talking to us and saying, okay, you guys weren't super bullish at 15 or 20, but Y25, and you had the perfect answer. He's like, because and it was perfectly worded. because the data changed. And that's what happened here in October. And so we get a bullish close. That's what's happening here. This consolidation data is changing now. And I'm anticipating that to give us some kind of trigger like in the next week.
Yeah, I mean, in October though, it's different than now. I think it was a lot easier in October than now because, again, we just put in the lowest low of, whatever no range we're in, and we could be putting in the lowest high too. We have no forms of confirmation. We have no, you know, accumulation argument yet. Uh, yeah, I mean, we just, back in October, you started developing structures. There was another false bearish breakdown below 25.4. Um, Another creek was jumped across, three rising valleys. There were, late
Yeah.
October, there started becoming a lot of reasons to really, really like it based on technicals. And at this point, up here, after such a nice run, I mean, you can't tell. Like, I thought, like, initially it might be Wyckoff reaccumulation. We were running back up in mid-May. But then, like, the shark developed, and then the type 2 of the shark, 71765, was back tested again. It's like, okay, well, that's not good. And that performance of that shark was beautiful. I think you have yours as a Gartley on the software, but it outperformed. And again, like, all hope, I mean, things were bad until, again, on the weekend, with 2 inches, 2 millimeters away from an assassination attempt. And that's what, this all the run happened. This rally happened on the weekend. It didn't even happen when Wall Street was there. So when Wall Street was open. So I think it's a lot trickier now. And David Weiss talks about it in his books. Trades About to Happen, where you're looking at these ranges and there's absorption going on. But sometimes you just can't tell what type of absorption is occurring. Like, where is it Wyckoff accumulation? Is it Wyckoff distribution? I can't really tell. I really can't. All I can tell you is we had a false bearish breakdown most recently, and now the price is up against a very, very, very key level from 2021. And the stock market, the equities market's correcting while this is happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really try to make calls, projections or anything like that. I try to stick by the framework. Um, and sometimes it fails, sometimes it succeeds. And Bitcoin is just an, I think, Rubik's Cube, man, really is.
Yeah, we had a this is on Binance US feed I'm showing right now, where the Binance, and I don't like the fact that they're different data feeds, but I can't ignore the fact that we did have a bullish shark within this consolidation zone at like 57.6, and it did the 1-2 and then came back down. So we have some back-to-back patterns here that explains a lot of why we're not busting. But with the patterns, they go a long way to help. That once we clear this zone, either way, we'll know. But we're all favoring that post halving cycle to begin at some point. Is it off of here? One more retest. Looking for it, but I'll wait for the all clear signal, which is I think it's above 73.5, certainly $75,001. You might as well just put a six-figure thing on it, because I think that's where we break free of this range. And it's just another range. We've been in these type of consolidation ranges that maybe if it wasn't a halving year, and with everyone with that self-fulfilling prophecy, I would say, okay, maybe not be so as bullish, but we do have these signals. I mean, I do, for the stuff that I do feel like on that last thrust we got oversold. But being oversold itself does not signal an opportunity just yet. You need a little construction, and I think that's where we're at. We need some construction here uh, in this area, and then we rip and go. Um, Quick thought on. I wanted to bring this up to you. What you thought about Solana? Because I still say that's probably got some of the best ingredients, if you will. One of the things I'm looking for at this point are patterns that are type 2 daily patterns. Makes sense that you'd have a like a continuation, especially with a type 2, and then a weekly oversold, at least at a dot, um, where it's at a high level. Like with my thought here is that if we're going to get some kind of W formation that takes you to all-time new highs, we need a C point, and the C point 382 minimum C point corresponded on Solana corresponded with everything at like 125. What do you think?
Um, 125. Oh, you're saying it's done. Yeah. I mean, but again, like I'm not ever here to act like I know. See, you're going into the next potential wave, and it's like for me, all I'm looking at is the daily, the M shape that your software registered as a saw just a second ago. The type 2 returns there. The buyers have defended 124, 130 for the greater amount of 3 months, and um, when the framework presents itself, again, your framework, no expectations. I have no idea if this will play out or not. All I know is that I can manage my risk appropriately with a stop loss below 124. And I know when I buy pattern completion zones of M shapes, the type 2 returns, and that congregates. There's the congregation of that at an inflection point from history. That's the dream setup, and they don't always play out. But you'll take on minimal losses if it fails. If it succeeds, you inherently have maximum upside. And this is the crypto space, so you got a $200 target if this is actually going to play out, and then 250 if it continues. This could obviously be a continuation of the long-term uptrend that we've been in for a long time. Certainly seems like there might be more upside on this than Bitcoin. But trading above the 200, the buyers have really battled there. They battled the 200 from June 19th all the way up to July 13th, and above it. And I think you just have to have a good macro day on Bitcoin for any of these assets, to rally outside of maybe XRP. Anyway, I went into a huge thing on XRP yesterday on my stream about it just being a coin flip because there was no structure there. But yeah, Solana's got your framework. But I abide by Mark Douglas's principles of not expecting anything. So if Bitcoin craps the bed, bad things happen, 124 doesn't hold, you're out. You now have an argument to not own Solana below 124 because it's probably going to $80. But above 130, 124, I think there's an edge, a mathematical edge that would imply a marginally higher probability of going to 200 next versus falling below 124. So that's just my take on it.
I think Solana is one of the big ones. I mean, I want to see, and this is kind of what I've been saying about just show me some price action, especially after the last 6 weeks. And this week may be the first time. Now, we saw that back here in May with a big 3-week breakout above a 3-bar. That was like a 4-week range, but it didn't lead to much. I want that to be convincing. I need to see Solana firmly above like 155, 160, that to know that this consolidation is over and that we literally, close that and then start to make the move from there. I mean, just the way that that's come together on all of it should be it. What do you got here? He's got reaccumulation. Let me see this.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
the alternative labeling, Wyckoff reaccumulation, someone was saying, like, is it in the chat? They said, is the reaccumulation argument dead? Well, I thought that we already did the spring in the back test of spring, and now it seems like maybe this is the real spring here. And if it's the case, then I think we've already jumped across the creek, and if it follows that schematic, then the next target is 71K, But again, like I was saying earlier, it's not that easy because you're trying to say Wyckoff reaccumulation while it's up against after a 354% rally from the lows.
Yeah.
And it's up against all-time highs. It's just like, if this wasn't Bitcoin, we wouldn't be talking about it. Like there wouldn't be that much opportunity. You're paying extreme premium for Bitcoin. Like you just are. We romanticize it because of the finite supply. It's the godfather. It's the beginning, the genesis of crypto. SEC approval, ETFs, passive flow, all those things make you think that yes, there's no way it can't happen. And every other cycle, we've always broken and gone to higher prices, and it very well could happen this time. But again, if it wasn't Bitcoin, we would not be near as optimistic about reaccumulation or thinking we're going to 100K soon, um, technically speaking, because you are not at areas of value. You've already come off an insane run. This very well could be walkout distribution going on now. I just don't know. So anyway,
No, I like the I like your charts here. I mean, the first illustration on the left, that's almost exactly your reaccumulation after decline. That's Bitcoin the last 2 years. And then the second chart, the reaccumulation with the spring action, that's kind of like what's going on right now. I mean, especially with that dip back spring that just happened. So, and the Wyckoff thing has been really solid. I mean, the Wyckoff structures, it's been good at explaining these stubborn consolidation zones, but you're there. I mean, I like that as a possible Wyckoff. You've got a lot of things to go on up here, and here's the. I mean, that looks a lot like. Yeah, go to get something. That's Solana. Let me go to Bitcoin. Um, yeah, it's Bitcoin too, but there's a lot of Wyckoff similarities in here. There you go, like that with the Wyckoff accumulation, all the way down and then back up. And this is another one. But I hear you. For everything that I do, we still I still need to see that has to be a green. I'm not going to take anything for granted, and you're exactly right. You can't assume anything. You can only really define and limit risk. And so for me, I'll wait. I'll wait before coming back around to go back again on this to commit to any new positions. That this there has to be a green candle. It's not certain. And not only do I want to see a green candle, I want to see a green candle that closes above the 3 week high. All of that's like it's 61K. You have to be above 61K in about 72 hours. So, take that to Sunday, and then we would circle back next week because that's next week would be the first week time frame space within this consolidation, and the first one since the low for the way that I've been looking at HSI. Go back to October. That'll be the first signal, the first strong, clear signal that we've had, and they've been reliable. So it tells me, yeah, we're oversold. It's still early, but we're gonna have to start looking soon in this range. I think it's 60. Come back to 61. Just give it a little more work, maybe next week, and that would start it. There was one other one I wanted to show you with where's the BNB. Binance Coin has this big shark on the weekly, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It did a big reaction, but what happened, and is another. This is something that it took me years to realize this, and I was doing it with a relative strength because not every reaction would give you a full type 1 move down, but certainly it's doing something off of this range at 650, 645. We are trying to generate an oversold reading this week, and I think Binance Coin is another one to be watching because if that could turn up, this too, check out what it did on RSI, and I invite everybody to check out volume 2 because if you're new to the patterns, having an indicator value, whatever it is, I think the indicators are good when they complement levels with their extremes. But this too has this M formation on Binance Coin. It went to the 50, and that should be about it. Where if we push up like even next week, we should see the move back into the overbought again. So it's something that's it took me a while to frame that out, but I did see a lot of differences between single test and these M formations and RSI. And then when you get to the 50 level, you're back into your control zone there above 60. That's potential strength on BNB despite the beautiful pattern. And then 30 bars, 30 bars out. If we could stay sideways in that range till October, then all you're going to get is just this kind of nominal pull down to 500, 550. It's this there's a lot of unequal crypto. There's a lot of dead crypto. I mean, absolutely dead DOA. Avoid it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but BNB, no, it's holding firm.
Dow Jones and Russell 2000 at session lows right now.
Let's go over there really quick. I'm willing to. I didn't look at the diamonds today. The diamonds hit the 1618 yesterday. Almost. What's that one? Let me get that to the dime here. The 1618. It's like there. What's that? The exact 1618 on the diamonds. Thought that did hit. It's like 415, 414. Yesterday's high was 413.86. I'll have to do the exact levels, but software is picking up another. It's a crab. Um, where's my daily here? Yeah. I just want to show you this. These trend channels. A lot of them just hitting the top range of that channel like that. I think it's the diamonds. Even if they do a pause up here, this is just I'm going to bring up since 2010. What do you take a look on your screen in a second at this? And my question is, okay, go back to 2010 because that really is the start of it. What would stop the 10-year, 15-year uptrend channel? Like, and I know I'm just throwing it out there for speculation, but
Rate
uh,
cuts, as is tradition.
okay,
September.
yeah,
It's every single time throughout history that rate cuts have occurred, from the date of the first rate cut, and the next 120, 150 days, the S&P 500 every time has retraced 23%. So historically, it's a certainty, just like Bitcoin's going to go to 100K. Well, then fine. If you're going to go with that logic, then you have to say there's going to be a 23% retrace, after September, right? After, so that'll be like, what, from October all the way to what, April 2025, when we get that pullback, I guess. So yeah, I mean, that's just devil's advocate, right?
yeah. I think it's more of like setting up where if we got that, get the pullback, line up whatever the next buy opportunity would be. We're overextended at the moment. And the 1618 at 415, 420 area. I mean, that's been the target all along. I just think it's, what's happening here. What's happened here, just even in the last, I don't know, 6 or 9 months, has been just playing catch up. But we'll have to see. We're at the top end of that channel. We're hitting the big 1618, and we're even if I bring up a couple of things here, like bring this here. This is monthly, and I'm watching a really important spot here because amplified RSI is doing the exact kind of RSI BAM thing. That's what this red line is, where the 50, you have a complex formation here. So that was your reaction, and then you came back up, and we literally hit this. We hit it's a divergence back in February, and then this latest move. And what I'm really watching on the monthly chart is what does this do? Because if we reject on up at these levels and our RSI value turns back down like in the next month, and you do that obviously by lower prices, but we're right at a really potential point where we have that secondary low, um, important on the monthly, that you're kind of sitting up here like a top spinning where we're close. Again, I think as high as that 420 level, it's like 42K on the Dow. But we're overstretched. I don't know if you're other things you look at MACD and some other stuff. How you what you're thinking on here of you think we're too overstretched, a little further to
I
go.
don't know. I mean, like this uptrend. I mean, October 2022 was the genesis, the inception of this recovery, and we're still here. And it's July of 2024, so we're talking going on 2 years of just uptrend and all time highs now. Yeah, again, like I'm definitely not one to be talking about what's going to be happening. Uh, if there's a again, if this there's the framework, I still don't even act like I know. All I know is how to manage my risk with a 3-to-1 reward to risk. So you might not be asking the right guy about like what's going to happen now. 40,000 is the former all-time high on the Dow Jones back from March of this year, and it was also May of this year, and so that's not been back tested. It's never been back tested, so it's only resistance, and it could potentially be a level where we retrace to, so market participants can test it and maybe successfully test it as support for the first time ever. And that might be a good level to look at. Everything would cool off. All the oscillators would reset. You get a bullish back test of an old all-time high. Yeah, 40K, and that's 800 points on the Dow Jones from here. So I think that would be, I guess, it'd be prudent to think that way.
That's a
Market participants love back tests.
that's a great comment. That's exactly the kind of insight I was kind of reaching for, because you look at the last several macro retests. I mean, prior all-time high, comeback, 2020, back test, retest. That's what Mitch is saying. Make the run to 2022 and then back test the high again. So even if we did that up here, you back test that high, that's down to 370. And I like that too, because if we're 415, 420 as a first stop, then come back down, back test, and go again. And it's happened 1, 2, 3 times. Looking for a third time now, and it's happened many times. It's a great structural move to follow. So yeah, I think so too. And I just want to follow this down because we are. It's like this. We're on the Dow. We just did the inflection like today on the daily. We're trying to get out of the zone. Here's RSI. And I find this interesting because this is a real serious impulsive inflection that retested back from December, trying to set up a divergence, in my opinion. But tomorrow needs to be a big down. Like if tomorrow is a big down, that sets this whole thing in motion for maybe something larger. Um, it's where we are, potentially with these overbought readings is a divergence. We've got to see. Literally, I think we're like 2 more sessions today, tomorrow, because we hit all the critical points and the indicators are there giving you the inflection. So we'll know if this is just a pause. I think come tomorrow into Monday, that could see the back end come all the way back down to minimum trend line constraints. I think that's like 395, maybe back under 40K. A lot of big round numbers too. Nasdaq 20,000, QQQ 500, SPY well above 500 too, diamonds 400. You get the picture.
Yeah. No bids today. Russ 2000, Dow Jones still pretty much at their lows of the day. S&P's about to be at this lows of the day as well as the Nasdaq. Yeah, it's gross day
Yeah.
today. Tesla though, wow, up 1.45% right now. Not even stonewalling the entire effing macro.
There's Tesla.
Elevated,
I
beautiful man.
Yeah, I think it's been strong, especially through this.
He's
Um,
speaking tonight at the RNC, I believe.
is he really?
Yeah, and of course, he pledged $45 million a month
that
for Trump's
that
campaign.
that should get you at least a speaking spot.
Yeah, but I
45
don't think the
million.
RNC wants anything to do with Trump. They're probably in on all this crap too, the deep state. So, um, yeah, whatever. Like
Mm,
he's speaking, and then you got Trump. He's going to be at the Bitcoin conference this year in Nashville next week. Um, and apparently, there's rumors going around that Trump's going to be proposing that if he gets elected, he's going to begin like a United States Bitcoin reserves fund. So, like I mean, these are such bullish catalysts, such bullish events, and it's just kind of fallen on deaf ears. I mean, we got the little cute rally to just go bearishly back test the former 2021 all-time high as resistance, and we're rejecting it pretty bad, and now we're completely below that zone. And there's just nothing here. Like if the price of Bitcoin stays below 63,588 long enough right now, we will see 60,800. There's just nothing there. That's how we made it to 63.5 so fast. No liquidity, up or down. So I guess I'm optimistic, but at the same time, man, I just say, like, if you take away what Bitcoin actually is, right, and you just look at it technically, you're staring at an asset that could be showing Wyckoff reaccumulation just as well as it could be showing Wyckoff distribution after a 354% rally, failing to break former all-time highs for 4 months now. Yeah, I mean, we'll come back in 3-6 months and be like, oh, it was so easy. But dude, it's extremely difficult. I don't know if you're looking at an asset on a traditional market, any random individual stock, and it's the Bitcoin chart, everything that would make it the Bitcoin chart, and saying like, this is a great opportunity, man. It's not. But yeah, again, it's the fundamentals. It's the romanticism of Bitcoin. Like, oh yeah, it's decentralized and it's peer-to-peer, be your own bank, and it's anti-censorship and anti-government and all that. And it's like, yeah, that and finite supply. Yeah, that's the only reason why we're kind of trying to paint a more optimistic picture for Bitcoin, because we know those things about it. So yeah, you know how it is. I mean, like, what would really, if you're on the stream and it's like, hey, we're all obsessed with Bitcoin. We want Bitcoin to go higher. We're going to, sacrifice a couple goats to get Bitcoin to all-time highs. Or we could just, what really we're trying to do is like go to Alibaba real quick, man. I know it's down today, whatever. But go back. I mean, if you look at Alibaba from October of 2022 to like now,
Yeah.
and that's like the framework. I mean, it's a bullish Gartley, and it's classic accumulation. And on the most recent third valley, right, where it's undeniable, Bitcoin, we don't know, just made the lowest low, right, of the range, could be setting up for way lower prices. It's over. Like, it could be. But like in a situation like Baba, the risk is so low because this asset is coming off of pretty much the inverse of Bitcoin's run. Bitcoin's up 354%. Pretty much Baba's down 354% from its highs, whatever. It hit an all-time low at the X point of that M shape in October 2022. This is the epitome of value, the epitome of the M shape, the epitome of accumulation, classic accumulation. I mean, if we're talking about what we're really here for, this is what you look at. You look at things like this. Not really Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's just kind of gonna do its thing, and it's going to fake people out, and it's going to sometimes not respect the TA, and it's not going to have an edge when it pumps a lot of times, and it's going to pump 10 days out of 365. I mean, that's Bitcoin. So this is just kind of like I'm posting what I've got there. Like that's my look. And how many countless times, Scott, have you seen what I've just posted to you in your DM? How many effing times have you seen this type of setup that does what the arrow does? I mean, no doubt, undeniable framework, edge, things are turning around, momentum shifting, market participants are accumulating this. Bitcoin, we don't know. I mean, Bitcoin's like, it could be over. So
Yeah.
anyway, sorry, just
No,
ranting,
no,
but
and hey, no,
people are obsessed.
well, there's a lot of areas right now where there are big patterns. Food stocks, Heinz ketchup, Hormel Foods, things like that, where people are not looking. So there are massive patterns out there. Dollar General. So I agree with that. And this is just another beautiful. There's Baba. I wanted to show this. Look on your screen in about a second on the YouTube where Baba is actually, I pulled up a monthly. Look at the crab pattern right off the last, it's the last inflection before the top. Nice impulsive 1618 down, but that's at $77 and that's been flatlining 77 for 2 years. So, and then you've got your daily weekly pattern in the same area. There's a lot of stuff there. I agree with that. And it's, you know,
This is a bottoming base. This is exactly what all the altcoins did before they blew up. Filecoin, Matic, you name it. The H bar. There were definitely 15 plus more of them. I'm not naming off the top of my head right now, but same structure, coming off of a miserable bear trend, and then I mean, think about the amount of time it's taken for this to develop. 620 days. I
yeah.
mean, that's the size of a gas giant planet. If we're talking about, comparing structures on the chart to our solar system, this is a Jupiter-sized pattern, and it's not. It's going to take a minute, man. This could take 2 years to play out. As people aren't going to understand. If I just say, "Hey, Baba's looking pretty interesting," we're down today, and it's like, "What happened to Bob?" It's like, dude, just look at it. I mean, it'll be gradually, then suddenly, at some point, because all the demand, all the supply is being absorbed right now. That's what we're witnessing on this asset. So yeah, I just you look at like Microsoft and Apple, and it's like, cool, dude, those things are at all-time highs. They just kind of recapture those all-time highs. Congratulations, after 3+ years. And they're just up there, elevated. But I mean, there's no framework that we can apply to them to be like, oh, I can manage my risk appropriately. I have the understanding that there's tons of value on my long. You don't have that on those. You're paying extreme premium to own Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia. Stupid premium. But Baba, this is literally the epitome of what you would call value. So,
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna.
it could still fail. It could still fail. That's what, like, it's we
Yeah,
don't expect it to play out. We just know this is what it looks like uh, when you have a marginal increased probability. But
yeah.
anyway,
No, and I think it's good not to get caught up in just the mainstream markets all the time, and be looking for where we do have patterns. Here's Dollar General with a shark like 120, although that's not what I was looking for. I think it was maybe it was Hormel Foods. Things that
HRL. Yeah.
where's the
Oh yeah. I mean, that thing's blowing up. Yeah. That was like a freaking insane back test. $30. Holy crap. That
yeah
bear flag was unbelievable. It played out like the Jesus, man. That was a bear flag. Last time I looked at it in September 2023, collapsed and then hit that swing low from 2017. And, it gapped up and then crashed on the May earnings. But look where it's trying to bottom, like right at that key support, right around 30. Yeah, man, that's like a spring back test of spring. Little shark there, maybe you could plot with a type 1 ongoing, but it's up against the 200 moving average. It is in a very well defined downtrend still. Um, But yeah, no, I mean, sure. Yeah, and there you go. You got yourself a crab, beautiful crab. This could be the type two of that crab, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Here's another great one. It's Comcast,
TMS.
CMCSA.
Yes, yeah.
Uh, yeah, got a little personal connection with this. It's another. It's tough to see, but it's another crab. This is almost a perfect type too. It's on the weekly, and it's everything is like right around 39. It's currently 40. Give me the weekly there. It's yeah, right around 39 bucks, and then the daily. What was it? It was no, this was just weekly. But there's, a lot of things here where they're sleeper kind of stocks. They consolidate for a few years. But these are, as you say, value, deep value here where you're trying to put in a higher low on the weekly. I've got oversold dots left and right, that's saying this is pretty much washed out, that it's longer term, more like a 401k style type deal, but shows you markets broadening out, and this is the other. I want to watch the Russell. That's for me whatever the IWM does, and I think eventually this will make a run to all-time new highs. It's been a laggard, but we want to see that open up. um Maybe it's not super, it's almost ideal, but close to being a Wyckoff accumulation here of the last, I mean, it's 2 years into this sideways pattern, and now with the
That was
breakout.
awful. Yeah, it was terrible. But I mean, the most telling thing about the IWM for the first time, kind of ever, $200 that had been resistance countless times over years, flipped to support, and there was a third higher low on that back test. And like when I was on my stream, every time we look at it, I mean, we're pointing that out, and it's like I just don't know if it's going to perform well. I mean, it's doing something very interesting. It's doing something that it normally never does. Little did I know how that was how it blew up like that. Druckenmiller, this is his largest holding. It's his top
Really?
holding, 15% of his portfolio. Yeah. But other people did that too. They started reallocating on the run up to Nvidia. Like he sold his Nvidia, a lot of it, and then flipped to IWM. Which I guess, dude, I'll tell you, man. Like if you're out there watching the stream, um, like one thing you really should never forget is the July 1st, June 31st, July 1st. Never forget this, because that is when the bi-yearly candle closes. And that is when, like, new year or new day, new price action, new month, new week, new price action, new quarter, new price action. It was the most impeccable change up. It made all the sense in the world. Like once, I mean, yeah, the big tech kind of kept going a little bit, but so what? I mean, all the others started rallying almost like they flipped a switch on July 1st on the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000. It was incredible, and now we're witnessing today still, like, since then, like the big sell off in semiconductors. So um, yep, new bi-yearly candle, new price action, reallocation for bots. Every 3 months, you should be really thinking about like what's been doing so well. Oh, and we're going into a quarterly close, monthly close. All right, let's really pay attention here because there could be a serious shift in price action from what we've just been seeing for so long. We got it. I mean, anyway, just it's like a thing to note if you're a market participant, trader, analyst.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said Tyson Foods, and that caught my eye too. Look at this crab, and a lot of these type of stocks are doing this big pattern, weekly, even monthly. Tyson Foods right at 50 bucks, now 60, but it's putting in a dot, bullish dot this week, first one since last fall. This one has yet to move. I mean, this one is just, when you're looking at this kind of a history over the last like 10 years, we're at the
Tyson's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, low end of the range, 50 bucks, easily come back to 80, 85 historical highs. Um, and so a little bit different creature than say tech that just breaks out the new highs. but this is probably a clearer opportunity. You don't have too many patterns that are in that kind of a position at the moment, popping, breaking out of zones, and confirming bullish stuff. You've got a lot of long-term bearish tech signals at the moment, so you do want to see that rotation. I think this is the kind of stuff to also to be looking at. Who put that up? B
Yeah, it reminds me
Sonic.
of IP.
I
Tyson definitely reminds me of International Paper, like where it was before it blew up. It was a trade setup too. It just was perfect. So it just put in, I think Tyson put in his third valley. So, and then they recaptured 55.89, which is like an undeniable level from history, 2016, 20, like multitude of times. It's been a resistance even in 2023. Now that it's flipped to support, it's been recaptured and reconfirmed. I mean, historically speaking, you go to 70 from here. There's no reason
nice.
why we're not going to $70 to $77 at this point. So back above the 200 moving average. 200 moving average up sloping now. Currently, today, yesterday, back above the 50 as well, the 50-day simple moving average. So there's tremendous upside on something like Tyson, right? I mean, this is the bottom. Like how many times? Like December 2018, just November 2016, March 2020, November 2023. These are bottoms. This is the bottom, and you can let this thing ride to the tops. That is unlike Bitcoin, right? Like Bitcoin, no value. Tyson, lots of value, ridiculous upside potential. Bitcoin, limited upside potential. We don't know. Downside potential could be extremely high. We could have tremendous downside potential on Bitcoin because you're up against a resistance. You're making lower highs. You just made the lower low. There's no confirmation of reaccumulation currently. Like you have to. We need to see, like, if you really want Wyckoff reaccumulation on Bitcoin, like we need to see a run straight to 71K within a week or two. No stalling out, back test, going back to 60K. It's like I just don't know if that's gonna be it. So yeah, I just
Someone was saying Papa John's Pizza. Some of those others. I just put up Domino's Pizza. Check out DPZ. Massive weekly bat pattern. Looking like,
oof, oh
yeah,
my god, it destroyed today.
886
Oh yeah,
getting killed.
shark bat. Yeah, that's what I had on mine. It was perfect. A little type 2 kind of too up there at the right at the 886.
So what about?
Perfect.
I thought McDonald's had something too. That was
McDonald's had a bullish bat, a bullish harmonic,
yeah,
but it's failing. It's like catching no bids.
yeah. It's a bat. Got a crab too getting pulled. 886 is like 250. Interesting because McDonald's has been so strong. Like every time you see something like that, it's probably a go. Just relative to this kind of a. There's the channel for McDonald's. I mean, there's the 10-year chart. It's pretty ridiculous. Coming back, retest like 250 is a number. 250, got to hold, got to go. Otherwise, something else is going to happen here. But yeah, I mean, it's just it. This is the thing that interests me. Like we're going to get into this point here in the fall where we're going to challenge or at least come to these. I just put up a 10-year channel here. And every time we get to the bottom end of these channels, McDonald's has had another one. It's looking for another opportunity. I just think we got to let this stuff shake out, and we will get more opportunities for this stuff just to continue. Waiting for pullbacks like we're seeing now, and then let that line up because I think this fall will be as important as last fall in terms of the long-term trend. And again, I think this is a gift. I think we're in a let this thing come in and fall, form some patterns like this. I mean, everything that I'm seeing plus the 886. I mean that's a lot to go on. I want to look at the other one is CMG Chipotle. It's like, oh yeah, that's getting crushed today.
Yeah, it was running with big tech. Yep. The reallocation occurred on this one too. It was like they flipped a switch.
There you go.
Yeah, going for the 200 simple moving average test at $52. That's going to be tested. And
Amazing.
this all happened. The split occurred on the 26th of June, and ever since then, number go down. Chipotle is at it has its lowest relative strength reading officially since May 10th, 2022. and certainly oversold. Highest level of negative momentum, pretty much ever right now.
Wow.
It's ugly. Yep,
Yeah.
very ugly. There was bearish divergence though on that that all-time high.
Yeah. Again, we're just hitting the top end of the channel, come back down. That one's probably somewhere around 40, currently 52. But I like the fact that this is happening now because I do think it's going to set up for opportunities later. And I mean, what are we going to just keep going straight up like we've been? It was getting to the point in July where it was a buying climax. I think Linda Radke posted something I saw where she called it. She nailed it. She's a freaking genius. But she called it to the day. It's like that's 8 days up in a row, buying climax for a lot of these hot running stocks. So got to look for some rotation here.
Yeah, but the rotation looks like it's going to cash right now. If you look at all the index funds currently sitting at or right around their lows of the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Nasdaq.
S&P 500 lowest price since July 5th. I mean, Russell 2000, like July 15th, whatever. I mean, not a big deal. But yeah, this is what you get. You get red days sometimes like this. Red days.
Oh, embrace it.
Pullbacks. Yeah.
I
So you looked at Tesla, right? You did look at the chart when we talked about it briefly.
Yeah, I pulled that up. It's a weekly. I think Tesla's. Eventually, we get to new highs once we spend some time up here. I've done a connect the dots on the monthly chart. You actually have a as you would say a Bartley. It's a Gartley at the 886 where we're going to get a 3 bar breakout this month, and that will seal the deal. I like that, and then maybe screw around for a month or two. But you're breaking out of the downtrend channel, so another month or two, anywhere above like 240, super strong.
What a dragon. My God. Such a pretty dragon.
Yeah, I don't know who did the dragon.
I don't know. It's just online. It's just something I learned about years ago. It's just your harmonic. It's a premature harmonic structure. It's like you're just playing, the two bottoms and the supply line breach, which is happening on this candle. As you can see that the X to, the dragon hump is the B point. The head is the X point. Yeah, it's a way, again, it's just a way to strategize and manage your risk appropriately with a formidable reward to risk ratio. I mean, it's good. It's, you know, stop loss below the C point um,
Check
on
out.
any dragon and target 618, 786, 886s, where your harmonic completes the D point.
Yeah, check out Palantir too. I think Palantir. I mean, that's
Yeah, it was
another one
beautiful, man. What a back test, dude. That one was
holding up.
legendary.
That's impressive. And then isn't what's his face Vance a part? He's somehow related to Peter Thiel, who works with
Oh, yeah.
something like that, as I heard. But I mean,
Oh,
Palantir's AI sympathy play as well. But
yeah, looks like 3350 on deck.
yeah, this has got. It's exactly read my mind. I think you're grinding up that you want an 886 up here. Eventually, that's 40. And what's the other? The 618 is like right almost where we are right now. It's like $30 at 618. So I want to line those up, man. Uh, that's really what I'm thinking now, and I'm thinking we're gonna get be handed an opportunity on all of this stuff after it comes back. We're just gonna have to get through this month, next month. I think let it do its thing, set it
S&P
up.
session lows.
Yeah, I see Nasdaq's is flirting down there too.
Not quite, yeah. But it's front running, it's like leading the pack on dumping. So if it's not at session lows yet, look at the past couple days, it's
Yeah, let,
worse.
let me see ES here.
Everything's session lows right now. I mean, I guess you'd say the NASDAQ 100 4-hour candles at its lows, halfway through it. So, yep, no bids today, chat. Get wrecked.
Yeah, 55.88. Yeah, yeah, they got a
Yeah,
nice flush though on that. I I like that. I would love to see a big flush here. I would love to see them bring it down, under 5,500, 5,400. Just clear it out now. Let's get it. Let's just take out this air now, and then
Yep.
come on back in a couple of weeks. That would be the best thing for this market. So,
Only
um,
one sector is up on the day, the S&P, the 11, and it would be the XLE, but it's losing its gains too. It's only up 0.38%. Like there were four sectors that were up, now just one.
yeah,
Yikes.
NQ hitting lows
But
right
dude,
now.
the XLE though, if you look at it, what the buyers are attempting to do right now is astounding. They're attempting to breach the June 2022 all-time high right now. Like it is 93.30. It's been regarded as just like an unbeatable level for market participants, for buyers, over years now. I mean, look how many times we've reversed 93.30 and we're currently at 93.55, just attempting to break it today. And it's
It,
not overbought. Positive momentum's at its highest level in a really long time, at least since the beginning of the year. And coming off of a defense of a bullish of the 200 moving average, you got like two little lows there at the 200 before the rally. You've broken a little supply line from this consolidation structure that began on April 11th. And it's pretty interesting, man. XLE is doing some stuff. I wouldn't say there's value. You're just elevated, kind of breaking a key level. So yeah, this is a big deal because it's like you go back to 2008. This is an inflection zone between $91 and $93. Wild.
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here monthly. You're talking serious highs, and boy, let's say next year this thing gets above new highs into all-time new highs. That would be just insane, insanely bullish for this thing if it could push higher. I mean, and the number really is above where you are now. I mean, it's like if we can leak above 95 here for XLE, that's super bullish, and maybe that's the drill baby drill result where you're just going to have crude oil. The price of crude may come down because you're gonna just boost production, but people, the drillers and the refiners, like ConocoPhillips or Go Valero, they're not coming down. I mean, there's a monthly on Valero, 115 doesn't want to come down.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been back testing its old all-time high. That old like sell wall is now flipping to a buy wall. It's incredible.
yeah, I'm impressed. That one, or that's ConocoPhillips. Here's Valero, Valero like that. Just another retracement. Yeah, where's the Valero was the weekly is a dot within this uptrend where I just think this could, even though this is one of the things that I've really had to get my head around, where especially with the high level dots, your brain's looking at this saying, wow, it's gone from 35 to 160, 180, and here's another dot at 150. Is that really an opportunity? And yeah, because we're just like a lot of these markets, we're just in on this trend channel continuing, and that's how it should be treated. Even if the price of crude drops next year because they're able to produce finally, it's going to be bullish for these guys because their volumes will go way up. And so those are the kind of opportunities I want to be thinking. I don't want to just be brain dead, you know, FOMO into tech. I think you got to think about it a little more strategically. Stuff like this, and anticipate that we are in a change where the market. I just think we hit the 1618 on the Qs and SPY. That then you, for whatever that harmonic means, you go into a character change of different stocks, money rotates. That growth iteration is over, and then you rotate into other areas where people are going to take profits in those and look to move money around. So I think that explains why you're seeing other stocks set up like this. These kind of things providing the opportunity that where like tech stocks right now, you're going to have to just take a chill for a while.
You look at the VIX today. You
No,
should go take a look. It's doing better than yesterday, and yesterday was nuts.
The VIX is not what it used to be. We used to look at the VIX as like a, as a Rosetta Stone almost, but they're bit,
Yeah, but like for this conditions for it to be doing what it's doing right now is kind of
yeah,
eye-opening. It's like, wow, it never does it very rarely does what it's doing right now. Holy crap.
yeah. We could see a short-term spike on that VIX off of those
We
lows,
got
back
it.
down to
Yeah.
13, 14, maybe
I
back
mean,
to.
if we get the Dow Jones at 40,000 and the Russ 2000 goes back to 2000, 2100, then yeah, I think the VIX would be at 1863 to 20.
Let me get the VIX, the right VIX index. VIX
Bitcoin
in.
nearing its lows of the day along with the index. It's garbage, man. It's like really
There you
like
go.
are we going to inverse I mean, are we going to inverse correlate? No, we're just going to correlate when everything's dumping. We're not going to correlate when the assets on traditional markets are rallying. Forget that. That's terrible.
Yeah, there's the VIX index. That was a nice little pop. Finally, I mean,
Nope. Up
halcyon on it.
20% in 2 days.
Yeah, that's a nice one. A nice chart. All right, man. Well, I'm going to wrap up here. I'll jump off. I appreciate you coming on today. A great discussion. Everyone, big shout out for Mitch, please. I appreciate you making the time today. And we'll have to circle back, man. We'll have to do something. You and I months ago said, yeah, when Bitcoin gets to 80,000, let's do a joint stream or something. That might be later this year, but let's get back and do this again soon, though.
I mean, dude, if Bitcoin ever goes, like, I'm ready, like, for hype to return, do a meetup or something somewhere, like, maybe even just down here in Miami. But yeah, it's just like this type of market is like, it's the worst market ever. Like, I'm down with the bear market where we're crashing, we're making new lows. Okay. I'm down with the crazy uptrend, but like this garbage sideways 4+ months of our lives just churning and chopping and just manipulated and confined by whoever it is now. Like, it's terrible. It's like this is the worst Bitcoin market. Maybe it's just as, I guess it's just as bad as last summer. Last summer's no trend was like, I guess maybe another month longer, 45 days longer than the one we're currently in. So yeah, they just suck, man, and it makes it just terrible covering Bitcoin. Like, and it just makes you be like, okay, Bitcoin's cool because we don't need a bank, and it can't, they can't print more of it. But yeah, but at the same time, it's a terrible asset. Like, it doesn't move. When it does move, it's very random, and seldom is there an edge. It's just it's happening, at night, or it's on the weekend. It's a catalyst. It's random. It's not fun. It's not fun to cover Bitcoin in these market conditions. It's terrible. Not fun at all. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
no one else cares either. And then it's just like, well, okay, well, no point doing a meetup when there's no hype, when no one cares. So
yeah, and it's and obviously, when the Hey Song days are on, everybody's in. Remember earlier in the year, Bitcoin had a huge pop, and you had like a record show day,
yeah, I had over 3,661 likes on one of my live streams. I had over 3,000 people watching. Yeah, dude, that was
and
like
that
4 months ago.
and that
And
was
now it's
that was
like,
the top. That was the top.
it was the top. Yeah, dude, it was. Or one of them. There were like three or four different all-time highs, and they were all just trash garbage. It's like, oh my God, we're at all-time high. And before you can even finish your sentence of saying all-time highs, it's back below the 2021 all-time high. And it's been that way 4+
Yeah,
months. It's
yeah,
legit like hell on earth.
yeah,
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 for a streamer of this crap. No wonder BitBoy Crypto lost his mind, went crazy, pulled a gun out, and got arrested. I mean, like, dude, I get it. Like, if I'm not working out with my personal trainer or like touching grass or looking at other markets, I would go crazy. If I was just like, well, Bitcoin only, I only care about Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, dude, I'd be depressed, like 100 pounds overweight. I'd be crazy. I'd be nuts. So, yeah.
yeah. Don't do drugs,
Anyway,
kids.
yeah, don't do drugs. Yeah, and
uh,
don't and the worst drug, one of the worst drugs, is a sedentary lifestyle. You're out there, try to get going, try to move around. any way you can. Try to just time under tension on your muscles, break them down, build them back up. Eat whole foods. Don't eat any of this garbage. 90% of the garbage in grocery stores, convenience stores, don't buy it, man. It's all poison, like legit chemicals. Ugh. Yeah. So just practice a healthy mind, a healthy body during these terrible Great Depression no ranges on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not too. I'm really thinking. I'm thinking longer term. I'm thinking next year already. I've been thinking next year for a while, and I really think it's we're gonna get through these times, and we're gonna look back. I equate a lot of these days to like, oh, I don't know, early '90s, early 2000s. Both of those had a malaise where it seemed, it just seemed challenging. But then what came from those times, I think maybe was unexpected to most, but it was good times. I just think we're not going to stop that. We got to just embrace the reactions and retracements along the way, which is what we have now. It's not a surprise. I mean, this pullback is at the 1618 is not a surprise to anybody in here. Shouldn't be. And we just let's see what we get out of it. So
Yeah, there certainly wasn't anyone making an argument for big tech at all-time highs for like fresh longs. Like there was nothing to do. Like there was no opportunity for a swing trader to apply his framework to give him a marginal edge. Nah, there were other assets though. I mean, Tesla was the most recent of any tech stock. Magnificent Seven, the only one with a really clear breakout, or not breakout, but like a trade setup, like where you were able to manage your risk appropriately in late June. And there was a bullish back test. The spring back test gave you like a 70% chance of an outcome of up. And it happened. And it happened within like 10 days. All three targets were hit. And it's somehow insanely not even really budging. Even on a date like right now, S&P 500 session lows, Dow Jones and Russell 2000 all at their lows of the day, and the Nasdaq will soon be at the lows of the day. It pretty much is. So even with all that going on, Tesla is just like not really moving, and Bitcoin's obviously at the lows of the day too. So it's just like that's what's going on. That's
yeah,
immaculate. You talking about the Magnificent Seven. This is going to catch up to all the others because every single other Magnificent Seven hit all-time highs within the last 30 days. And Tesla is, you know how far off Tesla is from its all-time highs right now? It is off those all-time highs by 40%. So plenty of catch up if they want to, if they want to do that. Yeah, look at that. There's your S&P.
yeah.
You
This thing's dropping.
just getting wrecked, man.
There you go.
Real bad.
New lows for the day. That was
Yeah,
nice.
Bitcoin's it's real bad, dude, because you're below 63,588 on the 4 hour. You're back testing 63,588 as resistance, and there's just no support till $60,800. Sadly, so you might be seeing a flush here. If
Man,
like they don't, I hope they recapture 63,588. I hope they do, but they just completely and utterly rejected 64.9. So
yeah, we got to get it to Sunday. I mean, it's all about what happens on Sunday. I mean, where we're at Sunday will tell us if it's sooner or later. I can't really make a call on it until we can clinch it Sunday night, and then we'll deal with it next week. So
yeah, yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, just stay in touch, and
yeah,
we'll just keep evaluating these things.
yeah, got to get back to Fogo de Chão
Yeah, man. Yeah,
restaurant.
or
So
Smith and Walensky on the water.
there you go too. I know Lucas wants to see you, so we'll get it happening. I'll definitely be in touch. And again, appreciate your time today, everybody. Big shout out for Mitch. Thanks for Mitch coming today, sharing his insights with us. And go see Mitch over at Mitch Ray TA nightly over on YouTube. Best TA show on the web. Period, bar none. All right,
Oh,
brother.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You,
Thanks, chat, everyone who's watching today. Thank y'all. And be sure to hit the like button, that bell, that sub on Harmonic Patterns,
thank you.
YouTube, Scott Carney.
You got it,
So
brother.
talk to you soon, man.
All right.
Thanks again.
You got it.
Later,
Peace.
brother.
All right, everybody. Mitch is gone out of the house. How you doing? Quite a talk today. I hope it was educational, worthwhile, and insightful. We'll be back on Tuesday, guys. But listen, really quick, get over to harmonictrader.com for those stragglers here. And listen, for those that want to get with the TradingView platform, I also have a 20% off discount code that we're going to include with that. So if you have any questions, get with me. I'm going to do that 20% off, okay, till the end of the month with the 6 months free for the HPC here. So get over to Harmonic Trader, send your TradingView username to HPC at sr-analyst.com, and then you can generate all killer patterns like this. Looking at S&P, can S&P do something today? You know, I mean, it's really nothing here. Maybe a little bit of bounce, not a lot, but yo, my Discord people, I'll be over there in about 15 minutes. Let's see if we can catch a power hour trade. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Catch you on Tuesday. As always, go